of course, if you are still here after the introduction, we'll be exploring how collaboration, flexibility, and empathy are shaping the region's next wave of iGaming innovations. So let's talk about the understanding of the modern North American player because I'm sure it's totally different than the European player. So let's start with you, Alan, and go Sue, Jessica, about how are expectations evolving across regulated U.S. states, and of course markets like Ontario and in Canada where it's available. So, what makes a seamless and trustworthy experience today, Alan?
So I think it's interesting. I think there was a thought process early on in regulation in North America, or specifically in the US, that the market was, bettors were experienced. They understood sports betting, they understood casino because of how kind of rampant betting was at a high level. And the reality was is commercially it just wasn't, right. Like your everyday person who enjoyed sports was not necessarily betting through a bookie or elsewhere before regulation. And I think even when the US regulated, it took quite a long time to go from having people understand betting, understand why an onboarding process that you need things like social insurance number, personal information, etc., to the point where now it's commoditized and a little bit more mass market. And I think early on you were able to get away with big bonuses to get people in the door, maybe not great CRM, maybe not market leading product, etc. I think you fast forward to 2025 and beyond. You are competing directly with entertainment dollars on in the larger market, whether that's concerts, attending sporting events, other forms of entertainment. And the reality is I think customers are expecting seamless onboarding processes and personalization at a product level that our industry maybe didn't think was going to come as quickly as it has. The reality is everyone has a certain amount of disposable income that they can use on entertainment, and this industry fits into that puzzle. And I do think it's becoming more and more important that you're able to onboard someone easily and be able to personalize that experience. I mean, your average North American customer in any sort of entertainment product is used to be able to onboard and do something very, very quickly. And our industry makes it quite difficult to get to a point of where you're actually using the product. So obviously I'm no expert there. We have platforms on this call, we have payments on this call, which are the two kind of biggest portions of that flow. But the reality is things need to become faster and more fluid because we will lose customers in that kind of journey if we don't.
All right. So, why are you giving hard time to Ace?
I'm not blaming Sue. Let me be clear.
Listen, I'm just a payment method. Don't blame me. I think part of it is where we've shoehorned existing solutions into this very specific category, and then the flip side of that is that these are, these are digital consumers, right? So when they have a bad experience, they're not necessarily comparing the sportsbook operators against each other. They're comparing, to Alan's point, right? It's entertainment. They're comparing against Netflix or their Amazon purchase or how they use Apple Pay. So, I think we have to be very conscious of that and recognize that they are actually experienced digital consumers. They have expectations of us, and these verification processes, I mean, Alan's right. I mean, we have improved. I think we've come a long way, but it's still painful. And it's not just the onboarding. Now, I've got added barriers when I want to pay out, when I want a withdrawal. And, I don't understand why operator A has a different threshold than operator B, or what I did last week now doesn't work.